Let us try to implement the calculated field or the functions with the help of Tableau calculated field. For doing all these things, this is the screen which shows the Tableau. The first step for doing all these things is connecting with the dataset. For doing this, at the left hand side there is tab called connect, and with the help of that connect we are able to connect with the dataset or Excel file, CSV file, or the PDF files, PATL files, and so many. Now, in my case, I want to connect with the CSV file. That's why I have selected text. If I want to go with the or if I want to import the Excel file, then I have to choose the Microsoft Excel. And I will just pick the advanced soybean agricultural data set. I'm just opening this. Let us go to the sheet. Okay. Now I will choose my grain. I will take this as parameter, and parameter is dimension. What is dimension? The dimension is the thing with the help of which qualitative analysis is possible. And the next thing is the measure. Okay, I have taken the measure which is done with the hash. Measures are represented with hash. It means with the help of measure, we can measure something. These are quantitative analysis. And this is the dimension it is observed for the qualitative analysis. Okay. And look at the difference. ABC is the representation for qualitative analysis or dimension, and hash is the representation for measure or the quantitative analysis. Okay, parameter with respect to chlorophyll, and we are counting the parameters with respect to chlorophyll and sugar as well. This is the chart. Now let us try to find out the suitable chart. This is the suitable chart, but it's so much clumsy. That's why the pie chart in this case will not be treated as suitable. This is bar chart. This is stacked chart, but stacked chart is also somewhat cluttered, and we can form in ascending or descending or consider rows only. But still, the chart is not that much suitable. Tree chart, okay, tree chart is suitable in this case. Scatter plot, as the data is so much clumsy, it is not suitable as well. Now the scatter plot in this case, yes, this data, this chart is also suitable. Somewhat, yes, this chart is also suitable, and whenever, yes, box plot, the box plot is also the suitable chart in this case, and yes, the bubble chart is also the suitable chart in this case. Okay, let us try to find out something with the help of bubble chart. Okay, now we will try to apply some calculated field. How to apply calculated field and why calculated field now. Before proceeding further, we will give the name as bubble as it is bubble chart, and okay, now observe the change. It's bubble instead of sheet 1, and I can change the name here as well. I will type bubble here. Okay, now what is calculated field? Before going further, we must be able to understand what is calculated field. Calculated field is the portion, or the calculated field is a part with the help of which we are able to find out the calculations, or we are able to find out the programs, or the logic can be implemented, and we will be in a position to observe the changes for. Now just click on analysis. Just click on analysis, which is at top side, and post clicking it, we are able to observe this pop-up will get generated, and in that just left click on create calculated field. Now this window will get appeared. Now in Tableau, there are so many functions which are available. In our case, we will go for the, okay, these are functions in Tableau. We will try to implement some of them. First is number function. In number function, this is the syntax and these are the functions. Suppose abs is the function, this is the syntax, this is the expected output, this will be the definition, this will be the example and the notes, etc. So many functions are there. Among them we will try to find out some and we will try to implement the same. This is the max. We will try to implement max function on our data set. What is the job of max or what is the syntax of max? Max with expression or expression 1 or expression 2. Same type as an argument or null if any part of argument is null. Okay, it will returns the maximum number, that is the job of max. It returns the maximum of two arguments which must be same data type. Yes, the data type of two arguments must be same. It means if the data type of first argument is integer, the data type of next argument must be integer, and then it will return the max among both. Or if I will provide just the column here instead of two numbers, or two columns can be provided and one column can be provided as well. If I'm writing two columns, it will fetch the data according to the two columns or by considering two columns. If I will write only single column, it will try to fetch the maximum among the entire column. Okay, then max number max. Okay, then this is the name of calculated field. Now let us try to implement the calculated field as well. I have typed max and this is the syntax of max, that is expression or expression 1 or expression 2. In my case, I want to find out the maximum sugars. I am taking just only one expression in this case and the name of calculated field is number max. The calculation is valid. I will click on apply and OK. As I clicked on apply, you are able to observe it is number max, and if you are clearly observing, it is equal to sign, that equal to sign before hash. It reflects it as the calculated field. Now I will, okay. This is the equal signs which is absent in rest of the measures and it is just in the calculated field. Now the calculated field will generate one of the column and by dragging and dropping or by considering it in the brain as well, we will be able to observe the result or change. In my case, I have already selected the grain. I will drag and drop the calculated field in this marks pane and let us try to analyze the result. No color change in size. Okay, size gets changed. If I will drag and drop this calculated field in label, just I will drag and drop this calculated field in label. Now the labels it's showing are 1.1150 this and 0.16. It will start from 0.16 and these are the labels 0.8820, 0.8400, 1.1100 and so many. This is the result of calculated field. This is the maximum number. In this case, maximum number is 1.1150. Okay, as we dragged and dropped and as we were calculating or we were trying to calculate the maximum among the sugar column. The sugar column's maximum is 1.1150. it's showing or it's representing the minimum and maximum as well. The color of minimum is different and it's going darker, 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 and darkest value is 1.1150. It is the maximum value in this case, and hence the max function is successfully applied. Now let us try to implement one more or another function using the tableau calculated field. Now the number function is over. Now the string function. In the string function, as a number function, there are so many functions. I will try contains. Okay, for that contains. What is the job of contain? Contain will return the boolean value, and the expression is string and substring. Now let us try to implement it in our data set. Okay, once again I will go to the analysis tab, and then I will create calculated field, then the contains. Okay, contains is the function with the help of which we are just naming the function as contains. Contains is the name, and just try to type contains here. Contains. Okay, and the syntax is string and substring. Okay, just go to the data source and its parameters. I will just try to drag and drop these parameters. As it is dimension, it is string. String is required, and in that I will try to find out the certain things which is substring. These are the strings, and I am trying to find out the certain substrings. Suppose this is C1S1 and so many C1S2s are there. I will try to find out just for result for C1 and S1. Okay, C1 S1. Now this is the parameter column among which I'm trying to find C1 S1. It means what is the job of contains? Contains will go for the particular column and it will try to fetch the substring mentioned from that particular column. Now on which parameter we are applying contains? On the column parameters. Contains on the parameters. Okay, so I have written the name of the calculated field as contains parameter, and the contains is a function from string. String, the function is contains, and we are applying on the column parameters now. And that parameter will find the substring C1 as well. Now apply and OK. Now as you are able to observe, this is string contains parameter and it's reflecting the value true and false. Okay, okay, this is true and false. It means it's representing the thing in the boolean format. It's true and false. At the left hand side you are able to observe, I have fixed the cursor in this. It is true and false. Okay, it's T or F. It will return either true or false. Equal to, it means it is the boolean, it is the calculated field, and as it returns T or as it returns T or F, that is boolean expression, T or F is mentioned. Unlike in number max, it's not represented as the output expected is not boolean. Now let us try to identify or analyze the result by dragging and dropping. I will just drag and drop it in colors. Yes, there is lot more change between the colors. True values are represented with orange and false values are represented with blue. It's representing blue as false and the true with orange. Okay. Now Let us try to drag and drop it in size. The size will get changed, but we are not able to predict something. That's why we will not consider this. When I'm dragging and dropping it in the label, it will show me the labels. It's C1 S1, it's C2 S2, it's C1 S2. It's showing the labels in this case. Some of the label it's showing and some labels are missing. Okay, observe true values C1 S1, C1 S1, C1 S1. In case of false, C1 S3, C1 S2, C2 S1, and here we are able to observe the result. If I will try to drag and drop in ascending or descending, the result will entire result will get changed and it's representing so many C1 S1. Now the result in our case, what was the calculated field? I will show it to you once again. Just go here and click on edit. We will be able to observe the particular calculated field. We are fetching the column named parameters and we are trying to identify the substring which is C1 S1 among them. Now as the result is true, true means orange. Orange color mostly is showing C1 S1, C1 S1, C1 S1, C1 S1 and C1 S1. And rest colors are blue which are having the false values. This is the number and the string functions. Now let us approach for the next. Go to the functions and date, but the date functions. For doing this, date must be the column in your data set. Unfortunately, I'm not having the date, so the operations which can be performed on date, I'm unable to perform in my on my data set. Now, after that, type conversion. Yes, the type conversion is also mainly dependent on the date or the rest things can also be applied as integer and expression casts its argument as an integer. For expression, this function truncates the result to closest integer towards 0. This is the case, but we can apply it according to the certain condition, and that's why integer, float, all these values can be taken. Float and expression floating point decimal definition casts this argument as floating point number float 3. Okay, let us try to explore this on our data set. Okay, 33 and okay. As you are able to see, this is one of the calculated field and this is the true and false. Now you are able to see it in clear mode that it is representing equal to means it is calculated field and it's represented with true and false. Now once again, this is number max. It is also having the equal sign and it is represented with hash. Now this is one of the measure, but it's not having the calculated, it's not having the equal sign at the left hand side as it is not calculated field, it's general column. Now let us try to, okay, convert something into integer. Okay, what is the job of int? Int expression integer casts its argument as an integer. Now let us try this. Okay, I will go to this, go to the analysis, go to the create calculated field, then I will write it as int 1 and it will cast it as the integer. Okay, let us try what will happen when I will cast number of pods, that is NP, as an integer. It's number of pods. I will type it as int and expression is required. Number of pods I will drag and drop, and this orange bar which is showing at upside or upward, it will locate the position, whether it is dropping at outside or dropping at inner side, but the position where it can be dropped. This is applied on number of pods and int function, but it is the main part of which function? Type conversion. We are converting the type, and in that we are applying on the int and the column name I have suggested, and this is the entire name of my calculated field. Calculation is valid. Now the original form of number of pods is 130.300 and something. Now I will try to apply this and okay. Now let us see what will happen after application of this calculated field. Where is number of pods? The calculated field was having type conversion. Yes, this is the calculated field. And let us go to the data source and let us try to analyze the calculated field. Yes, type conversion, string number mass, and now it's not reflected yet. Now I will just drag and drop this type conversion. This is the calculated field generated with the help of calculations we have provided. I will just drag and drop it in the marks pane. Yes, now the color is drastically gets changed and the range is from 190 comma 961 to 431 comma 56516. Number values are also changed. Previously it was not showing the same, but post dragging and dropping this, there is the huge change between this, and lighter colors are reflecting the lower values and the darker colors are reflecting the higher values as well. Now I will just drag and drop in this size. It's not having the much impact on this. Once I'm dragging and dropping on the labels, okay, it's showing. Yes, now as you are able to observe, the data is in the float format, but actually it's showing it in the string format. The type conversion is the column, whether it is in the form of float and we want to calculate, or we want our end result or middle value in the form of integer, then type conversion plays the vital role in the same. Okay, and this is the result which is showing the type conversion is done. Instead of showing the float value, it's showing the integer values. Now it's already done and the type conversion is over. Now the next is logical function. In logical function, we will try to implement, in logical function, we will try to implement the case. Now, what is case? There are so many logical functions. If and else is also the part of logical functions only. If means it is the uh, decision making statement, we will say. Why it is termed as decision making statement? Why? Because with the help of if and certain condition, we are able to decide the values, as the if helps us to take the decisions. It will always gives the result in the form of true or false, that is boolean expressions, and that's why we are able to decide something, and that's why it is called the decision making statement. And in this case, and is also one of the logical function with the help of which expression 1 and expression 2, if both the expressions are true, then only the result will be true. If any expression is false, then result will be treated as false. Or will show the or not. Not means exactly opposite of certain value. Certain value says yes, by application of not it will say no. In case of or, if I'm trying to put the expression 1 or expression 2, either value of the expression is true, it will reflect as true. Okay, the next is the case. What is the job of case? Case expression when value 1, then, then. This then is the syntactical part, and this then is expected in the form of statement or the expression. Okay, the general application or the example is this, with the help of which we are able to understand certain things. Now, in this case season is the column. When the sub patterns, how to when to apply case, if we want to highlight the sub patterns with particular pattern, then we will prefer case. In our case, we can apply it on the yes on the parameter